What's going on, everybody? This is Rich from Gaming on a Budget, the channel that reviews free or cheap games with the hopes of recommending you some dope shit. So today's game review is going to be on this game I found, 3-on-3 Freestyle. I randomly was just in the Xbox game store and saw that this was one of the top free-to-play games according to their ratings and downloads. And I don't know, I just got super interested based off of the title. I'm a sports fan as well, so I was really looking forward to seeing what this game was about. And that's pretty much what, made me want to choose to play this game. So let's go ahead and talk about the facts for this game. So the genre of this game is obviously an online sports multiplayer, developed and published by Joy City Corporation, created on the Unreal Engine, released back in December 2016. Platforms you can play this on currently includes Windows, PS4, and the Xbox One. And the most important question on this channel, is it crossplay? Yes, it is. As of 2020 last year, it's crossplay. So basically, 3-on-3 touts itself as an online freestyle basketball game where you can show off your skills. You choose your choice of the available street legends and compete in 3v3 against people all over the world and across all platforms. First impressions of this game, it definitely reminded me of NBA Street Volume 2. Not sure if anybody remembers that game, but I played the hell out of that game back when it came out on the PS2. If you played NBA Street Volume 2, drop a comment or something. But yeah, definitely gave me NBA Street Volume 2 vibes. Though it might be inspired by that game, 3-on-3 Freestyle definitely puts its own spin on street basketball in a unique way. I've been able to play this game for a bit and kind of get, some feels for it and what I think about the game. And I just want to tell you guys some points that I had playing this game. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So my first point's the visuals. The visuals for the game are actually pretty good. I mean, the animation style for this street basketball game, I'm with it. It works pretty well. I like how the players themselves, like the actual playable characters, are well defined. But you'll see in the background and notice that the people in the background kind of look Minecraft-ish-y, square heads and not much detail to them, which is cool, I guess. Puts more emphasis on the players. But it's just something I noticed. Also, the courts you play on are pretty dope as well. It's a visually good game. I mean, graphics-wise, as far as the motion and movement in the game is actually pretty good. So visually, I'll say this game does pretty well. So my next point, let's go ahead and talk about the mechanics. So the mechanics of the game, I have a couple of notes just from what I've been able to notice in the game. But essentially, this is how the game works. So you can play 3v3. There's two particular playing modes where you can play actually 3 human players versus 3 human players, or you can play 1v1 where there's 1 human player and 2 AI on each team. Same rules apply. There's also, ranked, but you have to reach a certain level before you can get to ranked, basically just to get on the leaderboards and stuff. Also, there's like weird, quirky things, like you can actually get a job, air quotes, because you don't really see yourself doing anything, but you can like go to like the pet store and like, work a shift if you're not playing a game or anything. And this earns you points, I guess, to use towards your character or buy things. So anyway, enough with that. Let's talk about the actual gameplay. So they got the basic rules of freestyle basketball, right? So for instance, if you brick a shot, the opposing team has to clear the ball by going past the 3-point line before scoring again. So basically you play 2 quarters, which are 2.5 minutes each, scoring as much points as you can. Whoever has the most points at the end of the second quarter wins, obviously. And if there's a tie, then you go into overtime until somebody wins. In between quarters, you're able to switch characters, which is pretty cool, in case you figure out like, hey, this guy doesn't seem to work against this guy. Let me go ahead and switch my character up. You're allowed to do that. Also, they have traditional positions. So for instance, the center, which is the big man down low, is supposed to go in the post and put up points, get rebounds. You have your point guards, you have your forwards. So they have traditional positions in this game. There's also some pretty interesting stuff. You can set screens, to get people open and stuff. So they got the basics down. So as far as it coming together, I did notice some problems. One thing that I noticed was blocking shots is actually quite difficult. If you don't perfectly like block them, they'll just sink the shot on you. So I find problems with this because even if you were to alter someone's shot in a real life basketball game, you might not have blocked them, but hey, you got in their field of vision for the shot. You should be able to influence the shot in them missing it. But it seems like if you don't perfectly block somebody in this game, and the person, is an exceptional 3-point shooter, they're going to get the ball in, and it's just going to go in every time. Another thing for me, it was kind of hard to dunk in this game, which sucks. You know, like I picked characters like for instance, I think his name is Nick. I went with Nick and Big Dog. These are two guys that should be able to dunk on call. Getting them to dunk was kind of hard. In any other game, it'd be like sprinting towards the basket and hitting the layup button will cause you to dunk if your player can dunk. I found that quite difficult in this game. Speaking of sprinting, you can't really sprint in this game. You just dash. So you basically dash in a direction. You can't hold on to a full sprint. I found that really frustrating because in a lot of the other basketball games I've played, you're able to sprint even if it's just for a little bit to get to your positions. Also, things like calling for alley oops didn't work out well. Another thing I don't like, which is kind of random, but in the 1v1 where you have two AI players, you have like no control over them at all. Which, I mean, I don't know, maybe call me, conditioned, but when I played games like NBA 2K, right? Even your AI, when the ball's passed to them, you're able to control them, So I would have really liked that for this game. And I think in NBA Street Volume 2, the same thing. When you pass the ball to an AI player, you're actually able to control that player. So things like that would be quite helpful in this game. I guess that's where 3-on-3 decided to make things a bit different, but I'll be honest, buttons wise, this game was a little counterintuitive for me. So I'm used to shooting with like the B button on my Xbox controller, but you shoot with the X button and you block with that same button when you're on defense. Overall, I would say the mechanics, they didn't really help the game, in my opinion. I felt like the mechanics were, I mean, if you've played basketball games, then it's gonna feel really different to you. It's gonna feel really different to you. Okay, so let's talk about game modes. So there's different game modes other than like competition. You can do like arcade mode, which has different basically mini games that you can play. For instance, there's like a shootout game, which is actually pretty fun. You just shoot the ball and get as many points as you can within the time slot. There's a rebound game where you just get rebounds. There's a blocking game where you got to block this AI from shooting, and that part's pretty fun. I'll say that. That's actually pretty cool. I do also like in this game that there's a couch co-op availability. So there's this mode in the game where you can play local players, basically anyone in your house, and you can play up to 3 people. And I think that's pretty cool. There's not too many couch co-op games out there, and I do respect the couch co-op aspect of this game. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the highlights. I think the highlights for me in this game would just be mostly in the concept. I like the idea of a street basketball game that's online, that's a multiplayer that people can get into. I just don't think for me that 3-on-3 hits it right on the mark. Now, mind you, I did have some fun playing the game, but all I'm saying is this game is a bit different to get used to, and it at first it was not pleasant. But as time went on and I played more games, I was able to see the fun of it, but I don't know. Another highlight, I think visually this is a good looking game. The cartoon style, the animation style works for street basketball, works for freestyle games like this. I think that's perfect. The characters, the legends, they're just cool. I love the diverse looks of all of them. Pretty dope looking characters of all different backgrounds and different skills and everything. So, and then I think the last highlight is the simplicity. I think what I'm realizing is the button layout and kind of the mechanics of the game make it so it's a simple game to kind of just pick up and play. I guess because I am a sports fan and I have experience in other basketball games, I'm a little disappointed just because it doesn't feel exactly 100% right. But I am realizing like, hey, for someone who's a novice or who doesn't play street basketball, they might enjoy this though because of the simplification of the mechanics of the game. And I mean, to give it its own merit, they do get a lot of the street basketball like rules and stuff right. Like, final thoughts, I'll say this: 3-on-3 is a good attempt at a street basketball game, a freestyle basketball game. I just don't think it's the right attempt for me. Call me crazy, but I'm one of those guys where I can deal without all the extra stuff of the being able to get a job and being able to do this and saving up points and get I just want a core street basketball game. Like, this got me thinking, like, if the makers of NBA Street Volume 2 could just straight up make a free-to-play version of the game where you actually get to customize your character. Oh, and that's another thing. I didn't like that you weren't able to customize your character. I feel like in a game like this, you should at least be able to pick a character, actually create somebody from the ground up. But they just had a bunch of, pre-made people that you gotta pick from. But anyway, yeah, if NBA Street Volume 2 was able to just create a free-to-play game, you know, very similar to their story mode where you just, you know, you grind, and as you you progress, your character levels up and stuff like that, and you know, you're able to do a tournament and play other people online. That would be freaking dope. Like, I don't know what you guys think about that. I think that'd be pretty great. But anyway, back to 3-on-3. It's okay, and I mean okay, like it's alright. Like, it's like, I don't know. Like, I personally don't see myself playing this game a whole lot more. I don't know. It might be one of those things where I have to keep playing it, but I just, you know, first initial impression, I'm not super digging this game. I mean, a good attempt, I feel, but it's just not 100% what I would like out of a street basketball game. So I'm a bit disappointed, but hey, that's just my opinion. Anyway, what do you guys think? Have you played 3-on-3? Is it something you're interested in playing? Are you a sports fan? Have you played this game, and you know, how does it measure up to your expectations? Let me know. I want to know all that in the comments. If you like this video, go ahead and drop a like, and if you're new here, please feel free to subscribe. Videos on a weekly basis, including streamers you should follow, including game reviews, including my live streams that I'm doing now, and the newly imported segment, Deals of the Week, where I let you know about deals in video games. So anyway, thank you guys so much for checking this video out. More content on the way. Thank you so much for all the love. Really close to 200 subscribers, which is great. I couldn't have done it without any of you guys, so I super appreciate it. But anyway, this is Rich from Gaming on the Budget, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.